everyone, good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Darrell Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center, and the big warm-up just in time for the weekend. Yeah, it's right around the corner. It actually starts up on Friday under tons of sunshine. We're taking a deep dive into your most reliable forecast today's. It's going to be a little shorter because we're looking at gorgeous conditions all the way through this weekend, but a change up by Sunday night, late Sunday going into Monday. So our weather headlines include a cold night with calming, more sunshine ahead, and then 60s just in time for the weekend. A quick look across the high desert does show that there are still a lot of clouds. There's been some clearing, and there are still a few sprinkles and flurries. Roads, they're dry though. Not too bad there. We're even seeing some shadows on the ground indicative of clouds thinning out and almost clearing. And when we look at satellite and radar, it's really just, we can see where some of that clearing is. We've had a few sprinkles and a couple flurries today. And we're really not expecting too much tonight. We could get some light snow showers in the Cascades, but really less than an inch, not too much at all. And looking at the bigger picture, we can actually see where there is some clearing through the Tri-County area, but there's a broad ridge of high pressure out over the Pacific Ocean. And this high is what builds into the region, bringing us our warming trend. So let's talk about temperatures today. We topped out in the 40s and 50s. Currently, we're still in the 40s and 50s. 53 is the top temperature in Warm Springs, and that puts us a few degrees warmer than it was yesterday, and a few spots a few degrees colder. But here's a look at a forecast model that's going to help just illustrate what's going to happen through the next couple of days. Thursday, tomorrow, it's still going to be cool. We're looking at a little more sunshine than we had today, but still a lot of clouds working their way through the high desert, and then that ridge of high pressure that's out over the Pacific builds into the region. So Thursday, highs in the 50s with some 40s. By Friday, 50s with some 60s. So we start to get that warming trend under tons of sunshine. And by Saturday, we're turning our attention to this next front that's out over the Pacific Ocean, but really just increasing clouds are expected across the high desert. And ultimately, we're not even looking at much in the way of precipitation. This is really tonight, and the few sprinkles and flurries we're looking at tomorrow. Not even much to put an accumulation on the map. Now, winds are a little breezy at times, 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 20, mostly out of the northwest. And here through tonight, we're calming back down to a very gentle breeze. And then through tomorrow, 5 to 15 miles per hour. By Friday, 2 to 12 miles per hour. So an even calmer wind across the high desert. And so for tonight, you can expect temperatures to bottom out in the 20s. A few teens are possible, as well as a couple of 30s, and in and out clouds are expected. Through the day Thursday, mostly sunny to partly cloudy, in and out cover, highs in the 50s with some 40s. And then looking at the 7-day planner, the warm-up takes shape Friday. By Saturday and Sunday, we're well into the 60s, but then Sunday afternoon, or really during the day Sunday, we're looking at some showers becoming a little more widespread overnight, and some of that moisture lingers over the Pacific Northwest on Monday, and that same system triggers a big drop in temperatures, knocking us back down to near and below average for this time of the year. But that cool down isn't going to last as long as our last one did. In fact, by Tuesday, we're warming. By Wednesday, we're getting even warmer than we're expecting conditions to be on this weekend. So this weekend, we are expecting highs in the 60s with a few 70s possible. Between now and then, cold night with calming is expected, and tons of sunshine is on the way. So that is the latest in weather. Join us in just a couple of minutes on ABC, and then again on CBS at 6 and 7, and tonight at 11 on ABC and CBS. We'll have the latest headlines and news, your full and most reliable forecast. We'll see you then.